Good afternoon. I'm Ingwa from Pixing Chun. Welcome to the Nanyang Tea Challenge, where challengers will think of a creative way to pair Nanyang tea with hawker dishes. The video you just watched is done up by the student of Nanyang Academy of Fine Arts for the Singapore Heritage Fest 2021. This is a adaptive dance of their research into one hawker, Meng Hui Satay Bihun, and is part of the short film series titled The Hawker Story, celebrating some of the Bras Basah Bugis district beloved hawkers. So stay tuned to find out more about Meng Hui Satay Bihun and its history. While many people know a lot about these hawker dishes, some of you doesn't know what is Nanyang tea. In brief, Nanyang tea is a unique tea that is blended and roasted locally using oolong tea as the base. More detail can be found in Pixing Chun website. Today, we have 8 challengers who will be presenting you with food of different ethnic groups and trying to pair them with the tea of their choice. This round, the judges' decision will take up a heavier weightage, but your vote still counts. So don't forget to vote for your favorite challenges. The polling URL can be found in this event site or Pixing Chun Facebook page. Right, so if your vote, the one you voted actually came in as one of the Gold Award winners, you also get a chance to win a tea gift from Pixing Chun. Now, let me introduce you to the 3 judges for today. First, we have Mr. Jonathan Po from Singapore Heritage Society.
Hi everyone, I'm Jonathan and good to see everyone here.
Thank you, Jonathan. Next, we have Ken Ko from Nanyang Sauce.
Hi everyone, excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Ken. Last but not least, we have Mr. Kenry Pei from Pixing Chun.
Yeah, hi, I'm Ken, the 4th generation tea man of Pixing Chun.
Right, so they will be judging the challenges based on the brewing skills, the tea food pairing capabilities, and of course, the overall presentation. Right, Renowned Unknown Fragrance is actually a classical Nanyang tea, or better known as Puzhixiang, which uses the northern and southern oolong tea as the base for blending. What will the first challenger, Mr. Kenneth Ko, pair it with? Kenneth?
各位评审，各位线上的朋友们，大家下午好，吉祥如意。大家喝茶了吗？我是编号1的 Kenneth On。今天很高兴，也很荣幸有这个机会在线上和大家一起分享，为什么我会用著名不知香来配搭新加坡传统美食之一，那就是麻糬。首先，让我来温透一下茶壶，以便等一下泡出来的茶会比较香。不知道大家有注意到吗？白新村茶庄其实保留着一个传统文化，那就是用2种纸张来包装茶叶。其实本人很喜欢这2种纸张，因为它可以让我分类茶碎和完整的茶，以便等一下泡出来的茶会比较均匀。好了，这时候茶也应该温温了，茶壶。先洗个杯。由于时间上的关系，所以我已经准备好了分类的茶。这个是茶碎，茶碎我们可以先导入进去茶壶，再来。这个就是完整的茶，就铺盖在上面。这时候我们可以注水了，水的温度大概是95度。 这样泡出来的茶会比较香。通常第一泡茶我们叫醒茶，所以我们都不喝这茶。再来注水，这时候我们就让它大概有45分钟的时间，然后我们再出茶。其实我第一次接触到茶和抹吉的时候，应该是80年代的时候初期。当时我还记得祖父经常带我到新世界的一个小巷口去吃夜宵。我还记得其中一个小档口，他只卖抹吉，没有卖别的小吃。当时我还记得吃那个抹吉的时候，你会感觉到它有一点点香香、甜甜、QQ。不过抹吉吃多了，你会发现到，它其实有一点点腻。这时候你会发现到，老板其实准备了1壶饮料，还有2个空杯子，就这样。爷爷把饮料倒在空杯，其中1杯当然是爷爷喝的啦。另外1杯，我就记得那时我第一口喝这个饮料的时候，它温温浓浓香香，又刚好配搭得到我刚刚吃过的抹吉。这时候我就问爷爷：“爷爷，这是什么饮料？”爷爷便说：“这是中国茶啦，香不？”我闻了一下，香。所以今天我为什么会用著名不知香？因为当年我喝茶的时候，也不晓得那个茶到底叫什么名，只知道茶浓而不涩，抹吉甜而不腻，细细一品，回味无穷。希望大家喜欢我今天呈现的著名不知香，新加坡传统美食之一抹吉，吉祥如意，谢谢大家。
Thank you, Kenneth, for a wonderful presentation in Chinese. So those who don't understand, you can ask your friend to translate to you. Very interesting and meaningful explanation, and also why he actually chose mochi. Mochi is actually a localized hawker dish that require a great amount of craftsmanship to make it just nice. So next time maybe you can consider having mochi with 不知香, right? So Grade 1 Tie Guan Ning is one of the earlier Nanyang tea that Xing Chun has come up with using the Southern Oolong tea. And our next contest challenger, Miss Maiko Makito, think that it actually goes well with the Japanese dish. So Maiko, maybe you show us how it goes.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Michael, owner of the Pearl Jewelry Company from Iseshima, Japan. It's a birthplace, the origin of the pearl farming. It's the first place in the world. Last phase, I wear for the South Sea because of the Nanyang Tea. But because of my hometown is Iseshima, is the origin of pearl farming. So I wear a Japanese aqua pearl today. So let me proceed to brew for the tea. Actually, this is the same way for the Japanese green tea. So now we warm it up for the cup and pot. So this is the same. After that, we put the tea on it. Then pour the water. But it's the first one, we won't drink it. This is a different of Japanese green tea. So it's Chinese tea, Nanyang tea, we don't drink it. We just warm it up and open the leaf. Okay, then this is a one for I'm going to drink today. So pour the hot water, stay there for a few minutes. So during the time, let me introduce my hometown. Iseshima is located between Osaka and Nagoya. Along the seaside, there are many inlets and islands. So there are beautiful and clean and calm water there to fit pearl farming. That's why it's a pearl farming started for the first time in the world. But Iseshima is not only the pearl farming. After the harvest, cleaning, processing, grading, and crafting jewelry, whole process we are still doing in Iseshima, Japan, alive and well, and started remain Iseshima, Japan. So during that time, we need to touch more than 3,000 times for the Japanese akuya pearl. So now maybe already for 1 minute, so let's drink. Today, I pay for the Japanese kaisen don. It's on top of the sushi rice. We put the sashimi on it. It's why I chose for the Japanese kaisen don. It's because my hometown is not only for the birthplace of the culture pearl, it's also origin of female diver. So we can enjoy there for nice seafood. So I came to Singapore in 2005 because of my ex-company assignment. But it's few years ago, I resigned and took over my family business, Pafaco. But actually, I have a family in Singapore. So now Singapore is my home. So I wanted to connect my hometown Iseshima and also my home Singapore with famous for the Singapore Nanyang Tea, and also the Japanese traditional food is for the kaisen don, the sashimi rice together. So let me eat this. 美味しい. That's nice, 美味しい. Okay, so last and the least, due to the global warming and also the decline of the number of the local pearl farmers, akuya pearl production is decreasing rapidly, become 1/10 compared with last time. And also in 2019, 80% of akuya oyster died because of the temperature change. Of those, after steady pearl cultivation, only 28% can be used for the jewelry. But we won't waste it for the less 72%. How you use it is a those failed pearl. This is a failed pearl, couldn't produce a good quality of pearl. Normally we grind to the powder, so we can use it for the cosmetic and also the Chinese medicine as well. And sometimes we also drink together with the Japanese green tea. So this is a Japanese green tea together with the Japanese akuya pearl powder. But it would be great if you can drink together with Nanyang tea plus for the Japanese akuya pearl powder. So again, Nanyang tea is good for health. Pearl will enhance your inner beauty. So enjoy for the rest of the weekend. Thank you.
Interesting pairing plus pearl some more. Huh? Anyway, thank you, Michael. So, sushi is actually an adapted food culture, and it has actually made its way to many of hawker centers now, if you were to see. So you can actually get sushi or even some Japanese food in many of hawker centers nowadays. Next, this Xingchun daffodil actually is a northern oolong tea blended Nanyang tea, and our next challenger, Miss Lydia Ong, is going to pair it with a traditional pastry. What is that pastry? Let Lydia tell you.
Hello everyone, a very good afternoon, and my name is Lydia. It is my pleasure to introduce to you one of my favorite combination, Xingchun daffodil and Ang Ku Kueh. Xingchun daffodil or Suixian is one of the well-known oolong tea from northern Fujian, China. As you can see, the tea leaf is rolled into long, narrow shape, which is typical of Wu Yi oolong tea leaf. This heavily fermented tea leaf carries a scent with a hint of bamboo and a rich and smoky flavor. Without further ado, now I shall demonstrate to you on how to brew the tea. First, I will add in hot water to the teapot, and this is to rinse and warm up the teapot and the teacup. Next, I will add in the tea leaves into the teapot. This is to awaken the tea leaf. I will add in water for the third time, and this is to brew the tea. Now I shall introduce to you Ang Ku Kueh. This oval-shaped Nyonya delicacy is one of the commonly found in the Nanyang region. Nowadays, it has many flavors such as yam, coconut, and even durian. But my favorite is this, the classical ground peanut filling. This flavor reminds me of my beloved grandmother, as this is one of her favorite snacks with Chinese tea. Now, I think the tea is ready. This Suixian enhances the taste of the nutty flavor of this peanut Ang Ku Kueh. It brings out the best of the delicious of the Ang Ku Kueh and is beautiful to the palate. To me, this is the best combination of the tea and food pairing. And during this COVID-19, it is a good time to bond with your family over a cup of Xingchun daffodil and Ang Ku Kueh. I shall now end my presentation with a Chinese poem. 烹调味尽南洋美，最是功夫茶语高。尝尽南洋美食，我最喜欢的还是新春水仙和昂菇桂，希望大家喜欢我的呈现，谢谢。
Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Lydia. Right, Ang Ku Kueh, although it originated from China, but it actually made its way in to Singapore and have a name for itself, right, in Singapore. And although a simple dish, it carry a very strong meaning to it. So now the question is, do you think Xingchun daffodil pairs well with the Ang Ku Kueh? Right, now we come to the fourth challenger, Mr. John Patrick Chua. Okay, he has a bit of challenge all along. Interesting challenge. Now he's in the quarantine, and you can see where he is now later. He actually is in the restricted area because of all these things. So pardon him for that, and we see what he's going to pair the food. Okay, the local very popular food with this iron hut. Okay, Patrick.
Thank you. So, yes, staying at stay home notice in Singapore has been extended to 21 days, but that hasn't been a downer for me. What has kept me perked up all along has been the Nanyang Teas from Peksin Chun. So today I'm going to introduce the Wuyi Iron Arhat, or Tielohan, or the Iron Monk. It is one of the earliest classical Nanyang teas. And when you say a classical Nanyang tea, it means the tea leaves are a combination of both the North and the Southern Fujian tea. How can you tell? The Northern Fujian tea will have longer strips, while the Southern ones will be rolled up, curled in your Southern Oolong style. So before I introduce the dish that I'm pairing with, let us start to prepare the brewing. So thanks to this brewing kit, even if you're in a hotel room, such as I today, you can already enjoy excellent tea. The first thing you want to do is to warm the vessel, so the teacup, rinse it, heat it up, and discard the water. Next, you want to put in the tea. Usually, as a ratio, you want 1 gram for every 50 ml that you want to brew. On the first steeping, you want to just open up the leaves for a few seconds to let the flavor out. Again, you could warm the tea again. And the containers. The temperature I like is around between 85 to 95, depending on how oxidized the oolong is. So we'll leave that for around 30 to 40 seconds. So today, can you guess what food I am pairing this strong oolong? You can already smell the fragrance. So it has all the ingredients from this part of Singapore. And I'd like to present the Singapore laksa. Right? It has a lot of the local ingredients. Inside that coconut milk, you have lemongrass. You also have different flavors from the ginger, usually blue ginger, galangal, the spices, the dried shrimp, and the chilies. So this is a very complex and strong dish which should be paired with an equally fragrant and complex tea, such as the Wuyi Iron Arhat. So by now we are ready to drink and pour evenly the tea. And we'll smell. Enjoy the sweet aroma, a little bit of smokiness. The Wuyi Iron Arhat has more northern tea leaves, which makes it a stronger tea, and makes it also when it was created, it was really meant for the laborers to give them more ability to absorb more nutrients and minerals. So that's why I am pairing the laksa with one of our classical Wuyi Iron Arhat, one of the earliest classical Nanyang teas from Peksin Chun. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Patrick. Right, you may find laksa in other part of the world, but you'll never taste the same. Right, what's more, pair it with Ui Ayan Ahad or Ui Tielohan. Okay, thank you all 4 challenges for the great presentations. Now, can we go to our 3 judges and see what they have to say about this 4 challenges presentation? Can we start with Jonathan?
Okay. I think first generally the I think the standard was quite different from what I saw on the YouTube video. So I think I would like to applaud everyone for coming up with such a impressive presentation. Now I think I'll just start with Kenneth Ong. I think what I like about his presentation is at first it's very true to his Chinese. He gave the entire presentation in Mandarin, right? So that already gives a very nice connection to the tea already. But also what I really love about it is that he drew back memories to his grandfather, bringing him to the hawker center, and then how that person brought up the tea for him. So I think that kind of connection is very personal, and he brought it out very nicely. And on top of that, I think your whole presentation, how you placed all the tea products on the table, how you choreographed the whole framing of your video, I think it's very good. I think it's quite creative, and at the same time it's minimal, but also it shows the things on your table very clearly. So I think good job on that. And one thing I also want to comment on you is that your presentation is very natural. So it's very enjoyable listening to you. Yeah. So that's all for me. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Jonathan. What about Ken?
Thank you, everybody. I think I must applaud all the contestants for, being very creative as well as being very prepared. All of you has put in effort, and the whole it's a joy, watching each of the contestants pair with different kind of food. There were, of course, the traditional pairing, which I like, with muah tea. Sweet with tea is always something that is, it takes away the sweetness. It doesn't make it so gelat, right? And but of course, the creative surprises. There were a few surprises like laksa, as well as with the kaisen don. That's something that's unusual. So I like that as well. I like the fact also that all of you connect it back to memories of the past, what the tea means to you, be it from your childhood days and all that. Effort, there was a lot of effort, be it from the poem that Lydia created. I thought that was a very nice touch, something extra. From Kenneth, I thought it was a very nice 功夫 that he had, 泡茶的那个技术真的非常的好。And for Michael, with pearl, I thought that would be something very interesting, pearl powder added to the tea. And for John, I would say that it's a very bold move because laksa itself is savory, and with the whole tea being tielohan is also very strong. So two strong together, I can only imagine how it'd be like, and salivate at the thought. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you. Right, so now we come to Kenry. Kenry, what have you got to say for these 4 challenges?
I think it's amazing. I think the effort put in is tremendous, and I can only highlight these 2 points. First of all, tea connects people, and tea without boundary. So it's through all the tea that people get together and explore on the possibility of how can we better pair with our food, with our life, and it's amazing. I think the overall presentation, is awesome, and let's see from the rest of the participants.
Okay, thank you, Kenry, and thank you all judges for the comments. Right, before we proceed to the next 4 challenges, I believe everybody is waiting for that. Let's first take a closer look, like we have just promised you, at this Meng Hui Satay Bihun, what they are, and understand what they go through the video that the student of NAFA has created.
我姓蔡，我的摊位是沙爹米粉，明辉沙爹米粉，已经做了差不多35年了。做了跟朋友一起帮忙的时候是在68、9年那时候。这个就是说做这个小贩不是刚开始而已，在60年代甚至50年代，其实沙爹米粉这一行是流动小贩。以前那个华阳就是每次街边大戏就有做这个流动小贩。以前我住家，我一走去楼下，我就可以在那边吃炒粿条、酱包鱼。而且以前我刚开始做沙爹米粉的时候，爸爸带孩子来，我还会跟孩子鼓励一下，说不要吃麦当劳，吃两个一点沙爹米粉，我还拿30块钱给他们，叫他们试试看。后来有一天，他带他的孩子来，他问我还记得吗？那时候你叫我 test 你的沙爹米粉，他说我很小，现在我带我孩子来。做小贩就是不可以偷懒，就是要把最好的拿出来。只要你可以吃，别人就可以吃；你不可以吃的东西，不要给别人吃。营业之前要做很多东西，就是有些东西还是要前一天准备，就是要炒那个酱，沙爹米粉要做一盘出来要有10多样东西，有鱿鱼，有虾，这个西ham，还有猪肉、猪肝、豆芽、翁菜、豆卜，还有辣椒，还有这个 gravy 这个酱。猪肉、猪肝也是要在家里切，鱿鱼也要切，所以有时候很难做。然后我们做小贩是时间比较长，那么辛苦是2个角，这2只脚是从开档站到收档。做小贩是有时候讲句好听的是不错，但是是比较辛苦，而且站久了这2个脚就是很痛。我的脚2个脚已经是开刀了，但是现在我没有办法站。但是现在因为我不能做，我孩子跟我讲他要继续做，后来我就跟他讲很清楚，他讲没有办法，因为已经做这样子，做了30年，你要放弃是一个很痛心的事情。小贩老实讲是可以再继续的，因为以现在目前的我们这些新加坡公民，他们只做工，他没有办法在家里煮，他就做完工去小贩就背一个打包一包面或者是饭，就可以去家里给孩子吃，给老人家吃，他就不用去煮了，而且我们小贩卖的东西也不会很贵。讲句坦白的，对顾客我也有亏欠，因为东西贵，也没办法给到满意，所以有时候会讲一些话得罪到顾客，希望顾客能够理解原谅。我个人真的很抱歉，希望你们可以回头来吃我的沙爹米粉。
Welcome back. Right, so like this Meng Hui satay bihun, many of our hawkers has its own story and very touching one as well. And to begin the second part of the challenge, shall we call upon our fifth challenger, Mr. Sam Wu. Sam is going to pair Grade 1 Tie Guan Yin with another traditional snack. What will that snack be? Sam, tell us.
So hi, good afternoon. My name is Sam Wu. So a little bit about my background. So I'm a certified water sommelier. So you guys might have heard of like wine sommelier, right? So people who serve wine and they talk about wine and advise people how to appreciate wines. So for me, I'm a water sommelier and I do that for water. But today I'll have a little fun with some tea and some local delicacy. And just like to thank Pixin Chun and the organizers for this opportunity. So as you can see here, my background. So welcome to sunny Shenton Way. So I picked this location because so just right behind me, you can see it's La Pasa. So this is a place of historical significance for our local culinary scene. And tradition, historical significance, this is the whole conversation today. Yeah, including what the food that I'm going to present, the tea, and as well as the water that I'm going to pair with the tea. So let's begin making our tea. So first we have the tea, the Grade 1 Tie Guan Yin. So the Grade 1 Tie Guan Yin has a rich cultural historical significance, and it's the same tea and the same blend that was formulated in the 1920s. So as you can see, it is actually a very rich brown, dark charcoal color. So what this means that it has been roasted the traditional way. So I'll just put it here. Okay, so I'll just boil some water quickly. So I've already pre-boiled, and I'll just give it a few seconds, to just heat it up. Yeah. So a little bit about the water that I'm using as well. Okay. So the water that I'm using is Hilton Natural Mineral Water. So this is the water that is drunk by Queen Elizabeth, Her Majesty the Queen. So this has also rich historical significance because, as you know, Singapore was once a colony of the British Empire. So yeah, that's the link to the traditional tea. So now that the water is heated up, we will awaken, the tea leaves first. So okay. So we will do our first flow. Okay. And now we will make the actual tea. Okay. Okay. We give it like around 30 seconds, to let it dissolve. Okay. So the food that I'm pairing with today is the mee jiam gui. So as you can see here, this is the Jollibee mee jiam gui, and I think that everybody should be very familiar, with this snack. So the mee jiam gui was born as a grab and go snack in the wet markets of Singapore, and this is probably familiar to the older generation of Singaporeans, as well as even the younger generation. So for myself, this was really a snack that was introduced to me by my mom, back when I was around like primary school. So the classic dish is the peanut mee jiam gui. Yeah. And this has been actually modernized, by Jollibee in MRT stations and heartlands. So yeah, this is the ultimate so-called traditional comfort food, that's freshly handmade daily in store. So now we can pour the tea. Okay. Okay, and then maybe perhaps just to show the color of the tea. I'm not sure if you can see the color. So so this is a a rich brownish charcoal color that suggests like a moderately baked tea, with full roasted notes. So if you talk about pairing with the mee jiam kueh, so once again the mee jiam kueh here. So mee jiam kueh, as you can see, right, is rich, nutty, and wholesome. So with a very generous serving of grounded sweetened peanuts in a thick, fluffy pancake. So this is very sweet and addictive. So surely when you take one bite, second bite, yeah, and from the third bite onwards, you'll start to feel a little bit, so-called, the term is like gelat a little bit. So this is where the magic of the Grade 1 Teh Guan Yin comes in. So the Grade 1 Teh Guan Yin, so this is, this tea would actually help to cut through, the sweetness of the mee jiam kueh. Yeah, so take a smell. Yeah, so what notes can you get from the tea? So basically it smells warm, with a fresh woody aroma. So visually the tea, as you saw from just now, is like crystal clear with an intense amber color. Just give it a taste. So the taste is clean and crisp. And I would say it has distinctive like chocolate-like flavor. And I think if you infuse it long enough, so just now I only infuse it for quite a short time, but if you do it for a longer time, it'll be more full body with, I think, more accents of like wood, and a sweeter aftertaste. Yeah, so this would really help to cut through the intensity of the mee jiam kueh and to freshen the palate for the next sinful bite. Yeah. So I think before I go, I'd just like to thank Big Sing Chun again for this opportunity for me to indulge in tea and water, and of course my favorite snack from Jollibee, the mee jiam kueh. And hope everyone has a great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Okay, Chinese pancake, or better known as mee jiam kueh, has been evolving with many new tastes and texture, but I myself prefer the very traditional peanut filling one. And now maybe I can try having it with our Grade 1 Teh Guan Yin. Right, our sixth challenger is Miss Fu Ai Wei. She is from Malaysia and is the only overseas challengers today, although we have a few more in our preliminary round. And Ai Wei, she is going to pair Ui Ayan Ahaj with a Thai dish. Ai Wei?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ai and this is Ken. We are from a collective called Shaman Tea Room. And today the tea that I was brewing just now was we Tie Lo Han and we Iron Arhat. And the food that we choose to pair with this specific tea is Thai style bee hoon. So yeah. So the reason that I choose Thai style bee hoon is because this dish is a very refreshing dish, and the ingredient is mainly raw vegetable, which is cucumber, carrot, and Thai basil, and also mint leaf, and as well as fried egg. And basically, the taste palette of this dish is sweet and sour. It's because of the sour plum sauce. And it's also savory because there's also a fish sauce used in this dish. Yeah. And I would say that this dish is also a fusion of Chinese, Vietnamese, and Thai because it also uses sesame oil and of course the sour plum sauce. Yeah. So overall, the taste palette of this dish is very balanced, which I think it goes very well and it complements the taste, the fragrance and aroma of Wee Tie Lo Han, and yet not overpowering it, which I think is very important in food and tea pairing. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Ai. Nice music to go with the tea. Right, Thai food, another ethnic food that has established itself in many of our hawker centers. Are you a Thai food goer? If so, next time maybe go it with Nanyang Tea. Okay, our next challenges is Joshua Liao. Joshua is going to pair renowned unknown fragrance or 不知香 with a traditional food that require quite a considerable amount of preparation. And what food is that? I let Joshua tell you.
Yeah. 哎，糊了，来给钱，给钱，给钱，谢谢。哎，你回来啦？哎，你回来啦？来来来，我们3缺1，坐下来陪我打麻将。现在疫情少出去了，多待在家喝喝茶。哦。来，我们打麻将之前先喝一壶茶，好不好？
你在做什么？你在做什么？
哇，我现在温杯啊，我们洗杯加温杯，把灰尘都洗掉，然后把杯温一温，等一下喝的时候那个温度就不会掉。来，你们杯子给我。我们今天喝一喝不知香。
现在在做什么？
哦，我在把那个茶叶筛选啊，把大茶叶跟小茶叶都分开。因为啊，等一下如果小茶叶都待在杯底的话，它出味的会很快，然后会很涩。而且如果把那些小茶叶都在上面的话呢，它等一下都会渣都会在杯里，然后你喝的时候会很不舒服嘴巴。所以现在我会先把大茶叶先放进去，然后 再把小茶叶放在中间，最后才把大叶子放在上面，小茶叶就会压在中间的。
停！为什么你要把它倒掉？这么浪费？
没有啊，
不是可以喝的吗？
第一泡都不喝的，第一泡我们都是把茶叶温一温、洗洗，让它开，刚刚发一发茶开胃，我们第二泡才开始喝的，第一泡没味道的。来喝茶吧。
我还没有吃午餐，有一点饿。有东西吃吗？有什么东西可以配这个茶呢？
我在厨房炒好了蒜盘子，去拿过来。
为什么是蒜盘子？是不是麻酱油的蒜？
诶，你说对了，可是这不是原因。我觉得蒜盘子呢，那个菜谱的那咸香啊，很配不知香的香气。当你吃了这蒜盘子，然后你喝了一口那个不知香之后，那香气你会觉得它提高了，那香气更明显。而且有时候你喝不知香嘛，你泡不好，你偶尔会觉得它涩涩的，涩有点那回甘味，你就会觉得有点涩涩的。你吃了蒜盘子之后，你会觉那蒜盘子的咸香会把那涩味压下去。而且当你喝完一口茶呢，你吃一口那蒜盘子，你会觉得蒜盘子加了一股清香味，特别的香。而且有时候像蒜盘子很咸啊，然后有一点油，你喝了一口茶之后呢，你就觉得你把那油震下来，对啊。其实菜谱主要我是要拿菜谱入场，可是南洋小吃有很多是菜谱入菜的菜啊，像菊桂啊，像菜头粿啊，然后像那个潮州人的菜谱粿条，都是用菜谱入菜的。可是我觉得客家蒜盘子的呈现方式很配吃茶，因为我们吃蒜盘子的时候嘛，都是夹一块，然后吃了，然后可以放下来，喝一口茶，我觉得很搭配啊，就像那种西班牙 tapas 的感觉。如果你吃像菜头粿啊，还是吃那种菜头粿啊，你就拿起来就吃，然后把它吃完了，然后你才放下来，你才会喝一口茶。你不会中间停下来又吃又喝的。那这是我呈现的方式。哎，话别这么多说了，我们继续打麻将，吃饱了吧，喝足了吧，我们回来打麻将啊。我们再去。
Okay, thank you, Joshua. Well, 算盘子 in direct translation means abacus. It's actually served in many auspicious occasions. But in Singapore, it is not served in many of our hawker centers. So hopefully, we can get more in our hawker center in the future. Right, last but not least, let's welcome Miss Dawn Marie Lee. She has actually prepared a Peranakan dish to go with 不知香. Dawn?
Hello everyone. My name is Dawn Marie Lee and I'm challenger number 8 in today's Nanyang Tea Challenge. The dish I've chose today to pair with the tea I chose is this. It is a Peranakan dish called nasi ulam. I'll tell you a little bit more about it while I brew the tea. Now, the tea I've chosen to present to you is one of the best sellers of Pek Sin Chun. It is called Renowned Unknown Fragrance or 不知香. This tea is made with a blend of Uyi and Ansi Oolong tea, and it gives it a wonderful fragrance. So to brew the tea, first we unwrap the tea leaves. And this is one of the few teas that you can see. I hope you can see. It's really obvious that it's been blended because you have long tea leaves as well as the typical oolong shape of a ball. It has a really delicious aroma with hints of osmanthus. So the first step in brewing Nanyang tea is to rinse the tea leaves or xing cha. We're going to put some hot water in the pot. To rinse the leaves. At this stage, we do not want to let the tea steep because we're just going to give it a rinse or wake the tea leaves. You can also use this water to rinse your teacups like this. One of the things I really like about this challenge is that I got this box, which has been specially designed as a tea tray. It is very practical because we can pour the water and there's a slot here, so you don't need an extra bowl or receptacle. Now we are going to brew the tea. It's best to use almost boiling water, so around 95 or 90 degrees is ideal. And we will let the tea steep for about 30 to 45 seconds. Let me take this time to tell you a bit more about the dish that I've chosen. Nasi ulam, like Nanyang tea, is very unique to Southeast Asia and the region we call Nanyang or the Nusantara. We can find this dish in Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, and southern Thailand. In Singapore and Malaysia, it is usually the Peranakans or the Malays who prepare this dish. And I'm Peranakan, so it is a dish that has been cooked often in my family, and it really brings back a lot of food memories for me, especially of my late father, because he loved the taste of raw herbs. And this is essentially what the dish is made of. It is made of cooked rice that has been cooled and finely sliced raw herbs like the ones here. Some of them you may recognize and can easily find in our markets. For example, lemongrass, laksa leaf or daun kesum, kaffir lime leaf or limau purut, and most importantly, you need this, the torch ginger flower or bunga kantan. It is a beautiful pink bud and has a very unique fragrance. Most commonly, this flower is used in our local dish rojak as well. Mixed together, it gives you a very delicious rice salad where shredded fish is added to it as well, and it is topped off with a toasted coconut sprinkling called serunding or kersik. The reason I chose this pairing is because the flavor profile of the 不知香 and nasi ulam is quite similar. It has a herbaceous palate and a very slightly sweet finish, as well as floral and herbal notes. I think our tea is ready now. The fragrance is so beautiful, and as a huge fan of oolong tea myself, I imagine taking this on a really hot day. It smells so refreshing, and eating it with a dish of nasi ulam. Now, another reason why I chose this pairing is because both the Nanyang tea and nasi ulam has very frugal, humble beginnings. As you know, in the past, it took a long time for tea leaves to travel from China to Singapore. So tea merchants here took to the practice of blending old and new tea leaves, as well as refiring the blend. It was practical and useful. It was not practical to throw the tea leaves away. And this is how Nanyang tea was born. Similarly, for nasi ulam, all these herbs used to grow wild in Singapore. So it was a very inexpensive dish to make. The cooks just had to forage for them, slice them up finely, and make a perfect one-dish meal. A lot of Singapore heritage food such as this has heart and soul in it, and lots of food memories for many of us, just like Nanyang tea. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Wow, what a flavorful dish indeed. Hopefully, more of our hawker center will serve this dish. Bring along a puzuxiang if you actually found it. Now back to our 3 judges. What do you have to say for these 4 challenges? Let's start with Jonathan again.
Yeah, I think I see more creativity coming out of these four participants. Very encouraged by how each one of you has actually put forward your presentations in very innovative ways. In fact, maybe let's just start off with Sam. Sam, I think I mean for me, I think I like the pairing, the mi zhang kueh with tea. In fact, I always like pairing tea with desserts because I mean it's a sure win, right? I mean you're pairing sweet with an aftertaste of the tea. So I think that's a win for me. I think the presentation wise, there could have been a bit more emphasis on the tea itself rather than having a plethora of so many elements that make up the tea. I think there's a little too much distraction on the table. But otherwise, I think that the presentation was very clear and very straight to the point. So I think good job for that. For Ai Wei, I mean, brilliant job with the with the whole choreography and the drum playing and all that. You know, it gives it a whole different. It brings the tea to a whole different level. And I think in Singapore Heritage Society, of course, we all want to say that we want to bring the future to our past, right? And I think that's exactly what you have done. So I think good job with that theatrical performance for how you brewed the tea and all that, right? I'm a bit skeptical about the pairing because despite I'm not too sure of that that whether there's a very strong connection between the two, because unlike the other contestants that they have talked about memories and all that and connections back to what they experienced in their earlier days, you know. So I think that I felt there was that disconnect somehow. Right. For Joshua, I think very unexpected kind of presentation. You had mahjong and all that. What I thought it could have been better was that you could have put a little bit more emphasis on why you use that mahjong to be that main of that main thing to talk about for the way you paired maybe your hawker food with your tea, right? So but I think I want to give you points for really like going beyond going beyond what is like conventionally a presentation, right? Like you really do a stage setting with your friends around you, like telling them to come and play mahjong and all that. It's very lighthearted, very personable. I think there's something that is good about it, right? And last but not least, I think for Dawn, I really like the way that you made it so lighthearted. It feels like, I mean, it's just lacking of a background music, right? Kind of making it into like a cooking, Peranakan cooking show, you know, with the very nice like green backdrop, you know, and I really it really on point with the props that you used, you know, on your table, and how you actually use all these herbs and all that to sort of demonstrate the connection back to the tea. So I think in terms of your presentation, everything was just on point, and I really commend you for that. It's very, very professionally put together, and the flow of your presentation was very good. How you talked about the tea down to the tea pairing, and then finally the whole setup, the whole choreography. How you even put things very nicely in this perfect position. And I also like the fact that you actually chose the Peranakan teapot to demonstrate this whole thing. So I think the whole presentation was quite was very on point and very lighthearted. Yeah. So I think I congratulate everyone. I think very good. It's a very good job for that you have put forward. Yeah.
Thank you, Jonathan. What about you, Ken?
Amazing. I would like to first say that I think these four contestants, they have brought out different aspects of the tea. Starting from Sam, being a water sommelier, I think you brought up a very interesting aspect, which is that water plays a very big part. You know, as the kind of water that you use, it brings out the tea in a different way. So I like that. I also like how you share in terms of the connection between the water as well as the tea and the food, you know, and the whole link. Yeah, it's bringing a old traditional food into the modern age. Yeah, so that's good. Next for Ai Wei, I would rather think that it's pretty nice. I can imagine the Thai style bihun, because in your pairing you actually have all five tastes: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami, right, from the fish sauce. So you actually have it. I haven't had lunch, so as you were talking, I totally can. To me, I'm a sauce guy, right? So that is spot on, right? You got all five tastes. It's going to be full body, and in fact, the tea will add that bitterness to it, you know, after you have had the food. And of course, the music just adds that sixth dimension to how we are enjoying our presentation. So great job. For Joshua, amazing how you bring us through, and I think it's very educational. I'm sure any of the audience that's listening in, be it, you know, experienced tea drinker or somebody who's new, we have learned so much, you know, from your presentation, or how you actually bring in, and pairing with abacus seed being a very Hakka dish, right? It's actually very, 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 very adventurous, but I think it's spot on because it has that the oil to it, as well as that, you know, astringent, like you say, the sir taste, right? So I think I can imagine it in my mouth with the abacus seed, and, you know, with that tea that is able to cut through and make it less what do you call that, oily in a sense, you know. Yeah, so I that would be one combination I would want to try, like right today or tomorrow. And last but not least, Dawn, kudos to you. Amazing. Very well structured, your presentation. It almost feels like a song, you know, that you're presenting, and it's so beautiful. I never heard of this dish before, but I'm going to try nasi ulam, you know, and that whole floral. I think your angle was a little bit more floral, you know, how the herbs as well as the spices would then bring out, and to pair with a cup, primarily cup as in rice, you know, I think that is something refreshing, you know, from a taste point of view. And I think you got it spot on, because the way you make your tea, the way you rinse your cup, you know, you got it all covered. Well done.
Thank you, Ken. Finally, can we have some opinion from Ken Reed?
Okay, I think it's amazing that we came from a different approach. I realize we are able to this tea can be for beginners, because it actually lead us to how to better prepare it. Can be for intermediate tea lover, and also for advanced tea lover. From these 6 participants that they actually show. And of course, it's through just one tea, the matter at heart. I realize, John and the I Wei's approach is slightly different. Okay, John is like the laksa is everything together, but from this iron ahad, he's trying to actually, from my imagination, we can actually spot the coconut, the little bit of ginger, everything, spot it layer by layer. And for Ai Wei is to me is a refreshing dish, but she's trying to ground it down, so that it become a more uniform body. Even though he have all the hips music, to link with and make it lively, but he is trying to link it down a little bit, so that everything is uniform, is calm, And same thing, for this Dawn, the is a lot of ingredient inside the Peranakan dish, but using this putu siang, she managed to actually link, all the ingredient together and give you a uniform, Peranakan dish. So everybody here is awesome. We try our best to bring out the best of this tea and also the best of this food, and everybody enjoyed it. So it's great. Thank you, Eng Hua. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Round of applause for our 8 challenges for a great show that they put up for us. Right. To wrap it up, I have a question for all the 3 judges. Now that our 8 challenges has done their presentation, for you all, what actually will be in your mind when we say to pair it with the Nanyang tea? What food will you pair? Which hawker food will you pair? Let's start with Jonathan again.
Wow. Well, for me, I think I seldom, to be honest, I seldom take tea. But I think one of the memories I have of tea is when I went down to Amoy with my dad, and it was like it was a trip down to find our ancestors' home lah. And then he brought me to the tea to a tea place, and we started to try the tea there. And I think that was when I realized actually the teas that usually pair very well with pastries and all that. And maybe that's a Amoy thing lah, right? They always pair it with pastries and all that, and therefore that was formulated in my mind. So that's why when I was looking at the presentations, the ones that really resonated with me was really those that were paired with things that are sweet. So I mean, if really you ask me, I mean, I really love the stuff that they came out with, Ang Ku Kueh or with Mi Zhang Kueh and all that, and those really resonated better with me.
Right.
Of course, with the other foods, like the salty ones, I think then it brings to mind what my friends always say. We always take tea to di-tiong, Di-tiong is to get rid of the bloatedness of your stomach. So I think it works both ways. I can't really pinpoint, but to me personally, I prefer it to be with something really sweet. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What about you, Ken?
Well, that's a good question. I think I would like Nanyang tea with Nanyang sauce. Well, of course, but one of the things that I love tea with, right, the traditional way is with bak kut teh. And with the dark soya sauce, with the meat and then the tea after that. It's just heavenly, But moving on, today I have learned a lot from the contestants. You know, how they pair it with the Hakka abacaxi, with all the different mochi, for example, you know, and all the different. So I think not just savory, because I'm more down the road of savory, but with sweets as well. You know, and I am very fortunate to be part of a group that every Saturday we'll drink tea. And it's hosted by a friend, the chef Nanyang Tea, right? And it's we get to try different kind of tea, and sometimes we are always wondering what food to pair with it. Now after today, I have a lot of examples, you know, of the different kind of foods that potentially can go with it, and that whole experience. I think what today, the whole Nanyang Tea Challenge will give the younger generation a lot more experiences and ideas of both the sweets as well as the savory and new ways of pairing. And I think it's a wonderful initiative you guys have done. So thank you and keep it going.
Thank you. Henry.
I think the again, you know, we have a lot of these very interesting local food, you know, our hawker food. You know, there is also a lot of these very good tea that's available here in Nanyang. We call it the Nanyang Tea, and it's also through all these you know, interaction. You know, to me in my childhood time, tea is, I would say, bitter, but how to change from a bitter tea to become bittersweet. So together with all the food, together with all the people, you know, we can have a nice cup of tea together, you know, and everybody have a cup of tea. Okay.
Right. So basically, I think it's a wide variety, and we can actually pair any form of food with tea as long as you get the right mix and it suits our preference. Right. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Ken.
Thank you.
And Kenry for the valuable sharings. Now they'll retreat to do their final grading. Okay, they'll have their headache there, and we come back here. So if you have not voted for your challenges, remember to do so. Okay? The polling URL is in this event page or Pik Sing Chun website. We will be announcing the this poll before that. The poll actually will close at 4:30, so please do so before that. At 4:30 p.m. We will announce the placement of the final result of this challenge at 5:30 via our Pik Sing Chun Facebook page. Okay, so thank you for staying with us for this Nanyang Tea Challenge organized in conjunction with the Singapore Heritage Fest 2021. Although today is the last official day for the festival, videos, comment and the contents will be made available online at the festival website. So please continue to check out the story of our healthcare history, the food culture at sgheritagefest.gov.sg. Right. Being a relatively young country, it is not easy to actually develop our own heritage and culture, not to mention promote and preserve it. So we hope today this challenge have a good introduction to you on the Nanyang Tea and the hawker food. And together, let's keep the spirit going. At 3:30, we will be having a streaming of the tea people in Singapore via Pik Sing Chun Facebook page. Here the result announcement at 5:30. We'll say goodbye for now. So see you at Pik Sing Chun Facebook page in a short while. Bye bye.